Okay, welcome back. As we continue in walking into 2023, first I want to appreciate the feedback I keep getting from people about these videos. This is, I think, the fourth video we're doing, and we have received such positive feedback. I mean, it gives one a warm feeling. And we're also visiting the YouTube channel. We just want to ask you to just keep visiting, keep subscribing, keep watching, and keep letting us know what you think about the thoughts we're sharing here. Today, I want us to think about Ruto in Nyanza. Ruto was in Nyanza a couple of years ago. President Ruto was in Nyanza a couple of days ago. And there are very, very many lessons for us to learn from that particular trip. First, I want us to appreciate the fact that 2022 is over. The elections of 2022, the competition of 2022 is finished. If you did not get that message from Ruto's visit in Nyanza, you're behind the news. That is the one message that came out very, very clearly. 2022 is done. Those who won, won. Those who did not win are reorganizing, preparing for the next engagement. That is what we saw in Nyanza. First, I want to appreciate and I want to just send kudos to the leadership of Nyanza. They really took us to school. They took us to school on several things. They took us to school on what unity of purpose means. They took us to school on what lobbying, strategic lobbying and communications is. And they took us to school about how to organize yourself and as you think about the future. Let's start with the first one, strategic lobbying. Nyanza leadership met before. We're even hearing that Raila Odinga, remember Nyanza is Baba's bedroom, Raila Odinga had called his troops, sat with them and instructed them to make sure they attend every event and every gathering that the president is going to have in Nyanza. What does this do? First, had he told them not to attend, I am sure some would have attended. So they would have had a split in leadership. So what he did, he took the easier route. There's no competition happening right now. There's no political competition happening right now. We all want development. This is the guy in charge of development. Go to him. Go speak with him, be seen with him, so that he also doesn't take away the people from you when you're not there. So you're talking to the people in his presence. He's talking to the people in your presence. You're green, you're aligned, you're in unity. So this was very, very clever. So appear, they were there, they attended. The second thing, in terms of strategic lobbying, they prepared themselves. They organized themselves to a point where you could see they had sat, they had a unified document of what they needed, they had highlighted and prioritized the things that they needed, and they brought them together. And they even chose who was going to say what. You could see that. There was a synchronization of who was saying what about where they were going. Then the third thing they did, they knew we were watching. The whole world, literally, was watching what was going to happen in Nyanza. So we were watching the people of Nyanza, the leadership of Nyanza, how they were going to behave. But the people of Nyanza, the leadership of Nyanza also knew we were watching Ruto. We wanted to see how he was going to behave. So the leadership of Nyanza came, they brought their A game. Sunday best clothes, literally. They were out there looking their best form. They spoke with humility, with acceptance, with respect to the President of the Republic of Kenya. They came to him and they told him, this is what we want. We want you to do this for us. We want you to do this for us. We want you to do this for us. The way they did it, they literally put Ruto in a box. Because the rest of us are watching, since they have come to you and they've come to you with a good plea, they've come to you respectfully, they've come to you in a way that is organized, what are you going to do? And Ruto did not disappoint. He stepped up. He said, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. So there's something we need to learn there. Strategic lobbying for development also comes up with strategic communications. You saw the situation where you know what they asked for, and then you know what Ruto promised to deliver to them. So when it is delivered, Ruto will be able to say, you asked me for this, and I gave. The leadership will be able to say, we asked you for this, and you gave. So when they start speaking together, you know where they're coming from. So that was a lesson that we learned from that. A second lesson we learned is unity of purpose. We keep hearing people talking about the need for unity. Regions unite around someone, around something. We saw Nyanza, unity of purpose. They came together. And they brought even their top dogs. Oburu Odinga was there. I think it's just the politics of the day that didn't allow Raila to show up. But when you see Oburu, you get the message. The family is involved. The family is okay with this visit. We are behind you. So they brought their A game, and we saw their A game. We saw them together. The leadership was speaking in one voice. There was no disunity. And I know politics of Nyanza, those who understand the politics of Nyanza, you saw Bandi there, you saw Wanga there, you know what happens in those politics. But for that day, for that purpose, they were all together. This is a lesson to learn. When you're going after something for your people and for your region, you need to come together first, agree, and then go hunting. The third lesson we learned from watching Ruto in Nyanza is how to move on. Nyanza leadership taught us about how to move on. We keep talking about moving on. We have had people being told you need to move on from 2022. Nyanza leadership has moved on from 2022. They have accepted, whether they agree with what happened, they have accepted what happened. And now they're preparing themselves for the next engagement. You saw they're treating Ruto as a president. They're not disputing the fact that he's a president. They might dispute how it happened, but they've accepted. You're the president and you're the one in charge of resources. And this is what we want you to do for us. This is a group of people who are teaching us how to move on. And moving on means you accept. You don't have to agree, but you accept. This is a reality. This is not what I wanted, but this is what I have on the table. And because this is what I have on the table, how do I work with what I have on the table? That is what Nyanza is doing. That's what Nyanza has done, and that's what some of us are doing. You know, when you keep hearing this conversation, we've accepted. This is the reality, and we're going to work in this reality. Nyanza has taught us this last weekend. They have taught us what moving on is, and that is something we need to learn. Since I come from Mount Kenya, I want to try and focus these lessons onto Mount Kenya specifically. Number one, the issue of strategic lobbying. We have been in government, as it said, for a long time. We've been in government for the last 20 years, Kibaki and Uhuru. But we all agree that how Uhuru finished was not the ideal way to finish. It's not that Uhuru did not provide development for the people of Mount Kenya. The problem was communication. The people of Mount Kenya did not know what Uhuru had done. And this is a lesson I want to send out, especially to the current leadership, from the deputy president to the ministers who are there, Kina Alice Wahome, Kina Moses Kuria, Ndongo, all the leadership from Mount Kenya that is in this particular government needs to learn something about strategic lobbying, strategic development, and strategic communications. People live in their own small cocoons. So you can do a 400-kilometer road, but some people will only see 5 kilometers of that road for their whole life. So when you start telling them we did a big road, they don't know. And especially if you don't tell them in a way that they'll understand. As far as they're concerned, you didn't do anything. We have what I call Uhuru's tribulations. Uhuru's tribulations were this. He did a lot, even for this region. He did a lot for the country, and he did a lot for the Mount Kenya region. But nobody actually went into the details of communicating it to the people of Mount Kenya region. So what happened? People of Mount Kenya decided what he did doesn't concern us, we don't appreciate it, and he lost them. The leadership of Mount Kenya in this government must learn that lesson. Strategically lobby for development for the region. And, capital N and underline, make sure the people of the region know what you're lobbying for and what you're delivering and how you have delivered it. If they do not get to know what you have lobbied for and what you delivered, you will lose them. The same way those of us who are in the Jubilee administration lost the people of Mount Kenya towards the last election. You keep telling them what you've done, they will not listen to you because you did not carry them along with you. So the region's leadership has got a lesson to learn from what we've seen in Nyanza. Lobby strategically, make sure the development is delivered, then go out there and make sure the people of the region know what you asked for and that you have received it so that you carry them along with you. That's lesson number one. Lesson number two, unity. That unity must be for a certain purpose. Let us come together as a region to unite for the purpose of getting something for our region. And when we are going for something for our region, if we are going for something for Kiambu, can we all sit down and focus on Kiambu? If we are going for something for Muranga, or for Nyeri, or for Kirinyaga, or for Nyandarua, or for Laikipia, or for any other part that we consider part of our region, Meru, Tharaka, can we sit down and agree, organize, focus, decide who is saying what and how, humble ourselves, do it respectfully, and ask properly. Then when we get it, let's go back and say we got it and that we are the ones who asked for it. The final lesson, and what I think is the most important lesson, 2022 is gone. This is a message for all of us in Mount Kenya region. Whether you supported this government or you did not, that particular battle is finished. Every other region is preparing itself for the next battle. We seem to be the only people who are still stuck in having parties and enjoying ourselves because of winning. When you look at Ruto right now, Ruto went to Nyanza, the place where he got 1% of the vote, and he told them, you guys give me 1%. While your person got close to 30% in my region and got 25% in my deputy's region. So you owe me. I am going to work for you up to 2027. I want you to remember me in 2027. Ruto's theme, as far as I'm concerned, his political vision and his mission statement is Mapema Ndio Best. He's already gone out there. He's talking to the people who did not vote for him, bringing them on board. We are watching Musalia doing it. He's reached out to Atuoli. He's reached out to all the people from Western Province who did not support him. He's organizing himself. Why? They're not talking about 2022. That's done and dusted. They're talking about the next election in Mount Kenya region. What are we doing? Who is sitting down and preparing for the next one? We are so busy enjoying the last one. How many votes we gave, how we gave them. We are enjoying ourselves. We are forgetting everybody else is preparing for the next battle. This last battle is finished. We have benefited from that last battle. It's up to us to decide what we do between now and then. But what are we going to deliver in 2027? To who? How? Through what? Where is that conversation happening? And again, I want to challenge the leadership, the current leadership. Let's start with the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, who, for all intents and purposes, is a leader of our region in this particular dispensation. Then we have other leaders, Alice, Kuria, people who've been in politics a long time. My good friend Nishungwa, Didi Nyoro, who is in charge of budget, and all the leaders who are in their second term or their third term or who are in government. How are we organizing as a region to prepare for the next election? How are we bringing together everybody in our region to prepare for the next election? Or are we going to be the bystanders as everybody else gets organized? This is what I want us to think about. As I said, Mapema Ndio Best. Let's organize ourselves as a region. Let us learn from Nyanza. We have seen what they've done. These are guys who've never been in government, but they know. Once the elections are over, they organize themselves, and more often than not, they are accused of taking captive of the government that won against them and getting what they want. Can we learn, now that we are in government, as we are saying, what are we going to get from this government? But more importantly, how are we prepared for the next battle? What are we taking to the table? What leadership are we taking to the battlefront? What are they going to deliver for us? Thank you very much. Let's look forward, and please do not forget, when you're in Nyeri, please make sure you pass by Ruare, nyama choma kwa wingi, mbuzi. We have very good chai and mandazi. That's what we do. Please come and enjoy with us. God bless you.